tell me about your introduction, your spark that got you into music.
Oh, okay. Well, music runs in my family, so my mom says that I was singing before I could talk. Mainly on my mom's side, everybody in the family sings, and so just growing up in church and in choir, and then being in choir in school, while also still being in choir at church, and then being in choir in high school. So I've always liked singing. It's probably not until after I graduated high school is when I really got serious about actually making music because I always wanted to, but I didn't think for some reason I thought there wasn't really a way to do that. I thought it had to be in the big studios, where of course obviously it's really expensive. And then that's
Yeah.
when I found Fruity Loops. That wasn't the first music software that I found, but that was the one where I really started getting into it. And
Nice.
I was thinking, oh crap, I can actually make songs. So then it started from there. And yeah, I just love performing. Like performing is really where my main strength is and where I feel the most comfortable in the studio. Obviously, it's really fun being able to be creative and just come up with different things and figure out what your sound is. But on stage, because I like the interaction with people and I like feeding off the energy of the crowd. So yeah,
Yeah. Who are some of your influences?
Prince is one,
Mm.
Beyonce is one.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Some big
Cascade,
ones.
Cascade is one.
Hey.
In house
Cascade
music.
or Cascade?
Cascade, not Cascade. I mean,
Okay.
I love Cascade. Like she's cool, but no, yeah,
Yeah.
Cascade for sure. And Calvin Harris
Hey.
really a lot, just because I don't know. There was just like I just liked his approach to his music because like I got into electronic music around like 2005, and I didn't know that was really a thing. Even though I like '90s house music, so I guess I should have put two and two together. But yeah, and then from there, so yeah, I mean that's really like
Yeah.
my main influences, I would say.
For sure. Are you classically trained as a singer or are you self-taught?
I am both. I don't even know
Okay.
if that's possible. Yeah, but I am both. Definitely started off with being self taught. Just like I said, just singing in church, and then learning how to. I guess the proper. I guess like the proper ways to sing in school.
Like
And-
using your diaphragm and all that.
Yeah,
boring
using
stuff,
your
yeah.
diaphragm and vocal exercises, and then especially when I went off to school to a performing arts school, AMDA in Hollywood after high school. That's when I really got into like the proper way of singing and just like seeing a real difference when I came back.
So, what other singing endeavors have you had other than tonight? Like what do you do? Have you performed with bands in high school? Were you in theater, choir, anything like that? What's your resume look like?
Yeah, so when I got to elementary school, like I said, I was in the choir, but that's all there was. And then I wasn't active in anything in junior high, but high school is when I got back into the school choir. I was in theater. I was the captain of the varsity cheer squad. I was in Rally Club, which was a dance, hip hop, dance
Yeah.
club in high school. So I did all of that, and I was like still singing in church, being active with that. So yeah, and then I started singing with a live band for the first time. The Duvall Project is where I started in 2013, and that's when I really started performing live on stage in front of people. Because the only thing I ever really did other than that was like theater in school and outside of school. And then we did that for a couple years, and I started singing with Rod P. New Standard, which we ended up changing our name to what is now No Strings Attached. So I've been
Okay.
singing, doing live music, performing on stage for almost 10 years now. So, and then I also have my own music, of course, like on all platforms, just look me up. Yeah.
It was all strings attached. Is that what you said?
No strings attached.
No strings attached. What's that? Is that a band you're in?
Yeah. So that's the band that I'm currently in
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
But you have
Okay.
stuff out under your name too that's
do.
separate from that, right?
Yeah. So I do have my own music under my own name that's out. You can stream it, all the platforms, and yeah, just
I have a question. What's the difference in the vibe of No Strings Attached and then your solo stuff? Like what do you try to do differently?
well, naturally, what the music that I make on my own is different from what we do in No Strings Attached, just because No Strings Attached, we do more. I mean, we have a variety, but I would say our strength is mainly like R&B, like old school '90s top 40 stuff, and then the kind of music that I make, I would say, is more like pop based and electronic with a little bit of like R&B influences. But yeah, I would definitely, mine is way more electronic heavy, and we don't do a lot of electronic music in our stuff. So there's already a difference. So if you were to see me on my own, outside of the band, I mean, people would naturally associate me like, oh, that's the singer from that band. But if they heard my stuff, it's completely different.
They might not even recognize
really
it because
cool.
it's so different.
Yeah,
I
they
saw
would.
you. I think last year I saw you. Where's that coming from?
Oh, over there.
Last year I saw you at Big Show Music Awards. That was the first time I saw your solo stuff because I was there with Crimson.
Yeah. So doing the Baseball Music Awards, that was really cool experience because I also got to see other artists in town that I didn't know were here. So
For sure, yeah.
that was definitely like really cool being able to be part of that. So that was a really cool experience.
I saw you perform with Modern too, and that was really fun.
Yeah, Modern Day Realm. That's the guy right there. He's extremely talented. We've known of each other for a really long time, like with the guys in No Strings Attached. I only really saw him at other church functions when we were younger. And so then he asked, like the first time we ever really interacted with each other, he asked me to sing backgrounds at a live taping of his gospel EP that he did. And that's kind of how me and him started to kind of connect more through music. And my most recent song that I just dropped, Under the Moon, it was originally his song, but he called me and said, hey, you know what, I have this song that I'm doing, but I feel like this is more your style, so he let me have it. So,
wow, that's so
awesome.
cool.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
that was really cool. The backstory. But
Nice.
it's
So,
really cool.
when you said you've been singing since you were before you could talk. Do you have a memory of when that clicked for you? When you were like, "Oh, this is like when the stars just align. Like I just love to sing," or is it more of a thing where it just came naturally to you, and one day you were just like, "Oh, this is something I could do. This is something I could pursue and get better at and work at." What did that look like?
Yeah, I've always really, really liked singing. So I think, but I would say the moment that it really, really clicked for me was when I was a kid and I heard Erykah Badu for the first time.
Whoa.
And it was her very first project, and it was On and On. And I was just like, what is, so then that's kind of how it started with me, I guess, kind of in a way trying to imitate the people that I was singing, like whatever song that it was, because I was a person that was always really like, this is how they sing their song, so I want to sing it like that, to like do it justice. I obviously didn't think about it like that because I was a kid, but I just wanted to sing it exactly how they did. And I think that's what kind of really helped me a lot when I started singing in cover bands, was trying to be like true to the music or to the song, but also obviously putting your own spin on it. But yeah, so I'd say that's when it really, really clicked for me. I was like, okay, this is really, really cool. And then from there I was like, yeah, because I would record myself singing along with some of these songs, on cassette tape. Yep, that's right. There were cassette tapes for people who don't know. They were a thing. They still are. But so that really clicked for me, like during that time when it first came out for her.
Awesome. That's really cool, man. So, okay, here's a fun question.
Yay!
Let's say you're out with a couple friends. Let's say you go to a bar. You guys are all hanging out. Maybe you had a couple drinks. You guys are feeling a little tipsy or whatever. And suddenly, wait, this is a karaoke bar. All your friends start going, bro,
This is a good question.
you gotta go. So you sign up for the karaoke bar. What song do you sing?
There's so many, but the one, my go-to, I would say Back at One by Brian McKnight.
Oh, okay.
Is like that's actually, that was the very first song I actually sung at karaoke, and then so that was my go-to song for a really long time. Now I sing a lot of different stuff. That or Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away.
Oh, that's a childhood one for me.
That's
a great
really,
song.
Yeah, that's a really fun one.
I wish you lived here in Phoenix, man, so that you could go to more karaoke bars, because my experience hearing karaoke bars here, 99% of it is... You ever want to throw yourself out a window?
Oh, God.
I just did.
Yeah.
It's like that way for real.
I always hear the Killers. I always hear people like killing a Killers song in like a bad way, and I'm like, why would you pick that?
Oh, at karaoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, karaoke.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, but I think that's why people like karaoke so much, why it's like such a popular thing, because for the people who aren't necessarily singers, they can just go up there and just sing.
Scream.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
like nobody can say anything, right? I was like, well, I can do this, and nobody can say anything. So I think that's kind of the fun about it. But I honestly, like, I always wondered where karaoke even started or where it came from, because I'm like, why is this a thing? Was really my question. I was like, I don't. I mean, it's fun, but I was like, one day I was thinking, I was like, wait, why is this a thing? Like, why do people do this? Like, where did it start? But yeah, it's fun. It's definitely entertaining watching people do their thing.
It's almost like
it's
it's almost better seeing someone who's like not an experienced singer do karaoke because they're like not thinking too much about it.
Right.
They're just enjoying it. And I feel like when I go to karaoke, it's like I feel like I overthink it, and it's like you don't need to do that.
It's true. Yeah.
It should just be fun.
It's like watching the American Idol auditions in real life.
Yeah. And I'm Simon Cowell in the corner.
It's
just
a no
being
from
like,
me, dog.
It's a no.
It is.
It's a
My
no
bloody
for me.
is.
It's weird because going on auditions for those shows, there's way more rounds than people even see or know
for sure.
about
I've
on
heard,
TV. Yeah, because I auditioned for American Idol, and the year that Jennifer Lopez was like a judge on it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I actually went because I went to the one in LA, and she actually showed up, which was really funny. Like it was. So her entrance was her coming through this little entryway that's filled with smoke. And then that was it. And then she was gone. I was like, why did y'all do all this for that? But I guess it was cool that I got to see her in person though. But yeah, there's a ton of rounds before you even get to the actual judges of the show. So there's like the producers and like the executive producers you go through. I think there's about 3 or 4 rounds before you get to the actual judges of the show.
Oh wow!
So that was really
Which is
interesting.
so kind of messed up because like the terrible people that get to the judges, they like
They egg 'em
the
on.
producers are like,
They're just
this
like,
is gonna be great.
Yeah, great TV. Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
I
you're
mean-
going to Hollywood, right?
Right. I mean, like they're looking for, the next American Idol, but also just as importantly, they're looking for, people that'll make great TV. And it's the same thing.
Well, there's a method to that madness, right? Because we got pants on the ground from that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, but
That's
think about
true.
those people that like don't know that they're not good singers, and they make it through 4 rounds of people saying like, "Yeah, you're great." Like that's so messed up.
And
It's kind of cruel, isn't it?
It is.
So you auditioned for American Idol and you didn't
I
get
did.
in. So that is living proof that it's rigged.
Yeah.
Well, oh my gosh, thank you so much. No, they have what they're looking for. So, I mean, even if you do have a good voice, it's not even just that there's, it's the look, it's the whole thing, the whole vibe.
Your backstory.
And then, so and I also auditioned for The Voice. I didn't make it very far on that, but I almost made it on X Factor when it was still on the air.
Oh.
I was very, very close. I think I was one step away from actually auditioning in front of the judges, and then they had cut me out. So that wasn't fun. But I was really excited though because I kept going. I was like, oh my gosh, am I actually gonna get on the show? Because nobody said no to me yet. So that was kind of cool. And then the last one before the judges, they were saying, okay, we'll let you know, like we'll be in touch with you. And then I was like, crap, I have to wait around. And then they told me, I was like, dang. But I was close though. That was pretty cool.
Can
That's
you
awesome.
can you audition again for American Idol?
Oh yeah,
You can
yeah.
do
You
it.
can audition as many times as you want.
You should do it again. I feel like from year to year they're kind of looking for like different things,
Yeah, I think at the time when I was auditioning, I wasn't fully realized as to what the kind of artist that I wanted to be and just as a person. So now at this point, it's like I know exactly what I like to sing and like what I sound good, singing. And then as far as my look, my personality, it's definitely way more realized. So I mean, I think maybe I could do better, if I were to audition again. So yeah, I've thought about it, but I don't know. I haven't really actually done it. So
I got a question. So you sing R&B. You're into a lot of R&B.
yes.
So if someone were to come up to you and let's just say they don't listen to a ton of R&B, and they were to say, "Hey, I want to get into it. What are some albums and artists that I should check out?" What would you recommend as sort of a starter pack into getting into R&B?
A starter pack. Well, we're taking it to the 90s. That's for me. I think
That's a good decade.
90s R&B is very, very, very important, I think, to R&B music. Obviously, I mean, you can go before that, but I feel like with R&B in the 90s, I don't know, it was just something like very special about it. So yeah, I would definitely tell like Brian McKnight, Brandy, Jodeci,
Yeah.
Let's see, In Vogue, TLC, like just just very like quintessential like R&B music. John B even if it's just like a song, I would even suggest songs, not even just albums, but yeah, just like very quintessential stuff. Just like listen to it and just listen to how they sing and just like what it is that they're singing about. I think is also a really important thing because what people sing about, the content that people sing about now when it comes to R&B is a lot different than what it was before, which I mean is fine, but it's just there's a clear difference though if you listen to it than listening to it now. It's a lot more, I guess it's a lot more blunt, and sometimes I feel like it doesn't have to be, but I mean everybody's different. I mean say how you want to, how you feel, but yeah, it's definitely a clear difference. So I think it's cool to be able to introduce people to that.
Are there any genres of music that you'd like to get into in terms of vocalization, like that you'd like to experiment with?
Yeah, I really want to kind of dip my toes a little bit more into rock.
Okay.
I think it would be it's just really fun to sing, and just like the energy that comes behind it, and just how I feel like expressive and how personal I feel like you have to make it. And then I kind of low key want to like dip into country a little bit too.
Country is country's a good genre. I feel like country's having its underground movement right now. There's a ton of like creative people making new country stuff because I think country's gotten a bad rap for a long time. But there's a lot of really creative people working on country, giving it the same treatment that hip hop's gotten, the same treatment that rock's gotten. So that would be a cool genre for you to get into, man.